Well, we're almost there. They should get ready, right? Let me just introduce Purva. So let me think one thing because I've been like there are many really folks in IEEE staff. I've been working very closely as a volunteer over the years, and Purva is another person like Brad and Craig I've been working with. And I will just briefly introduce, obviously, part of the industry connection. We have a industry connection working group called Open RAN, and CTU actually combined that. And I'm the chair of that. And that side, I'm working with Purva. We have been doing this Open RAN conference for the last 4 years. But just to introduce, Purva is a global director of business strategy and intelligence and connectivity telecom practice here at IEEE. But he also had a lot of industry experience. He was with Qualcomm, Samsung, Disney, also many standards, various standards organization like IT52. And he had about 100 patents granted by US Patent Office, other patent organization. He has a master's in electrical engineering with Georgia Tech and MBA from Colorado State. All right. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. So, good evening, guys. I know I'm the last one. I'm the last one. No, normally when you are at the end of the sessions, it's very hard to get the audience re-engaged. So, what? So, as part of my presentation, what I would like to do is make it more interactive. So, rather than me talking a lot about what we are doing, I would like to get interaction from your side. And at the same time, I would also like to share with you the video of the things that we have done. So till now, what we have seen are all the challenges that goes with dual connectivity. But as part of my presentation, we are actually going to demonstrate that how we have overcome those challenges with a live example of a deployment in a village in India, where we actually use the things that were mentioned about using solar for connectivity and using spectrum for connectivity, and how do you make sure that the solution is sustainable. So we have incorporated all those elements as part of this project, and we are going to show you a live example of how that thing works. So that's what my presentation is all about.
So is this part of the CTU Challenge?
Yes.
I think we should just...
Yeah, exactly. So I would also like to say that this project, and again, it goes to what Ashutosh mentioned. Ashutosh is leading that effort. The CTU, I think many of you are aware. Ashutosh and Sudhir, leading the CTU is connecting the unconnected challenge. So where we actually invite the proposals from the industry to see what can be done to overcome the challenges. I mean, preparing a list of obstacles, it's a good thing if you are starting some project. But once, after talking about all those challenges for, say, 10 years, and if you don't have a solution, then those challenges are meaningless. So what CTU is actually trying to do is how do you overcome those challenges and create a real-life solution that is going to overcome them. And this project is actually one of those projects. Again, thanks to the Future Networks Committee, Sudhir, Ashutosh, and also the project was actually run in partnership with us, with Ritu Agarwal. So I also want to acknowledge that because she's responsible for this project to have. So now with that being said, before I go to the next slide, I think since this morning we have seen that connectivity has an impact on many different aspects of life. But can anyone just tell me what all aspects of life we heard that connectivity is going to have an impact on? I heard people talk about finance, education, longevity, education, health, so all those aspects. I think connectivity does have an important role to play in this. So in my next slide, actually, it's a common slide, but I want to actually highlight some of the things that we discussed this morning. This particular section over here actually shows that if we look at connectivity at a global scale, half of the world's population still does not have connectivity. So we want to talk about connectivity, yes, but try to address this region of the world which is in red, which does not have proper connectivity. Like, we found that there are 4.57 billion users that have connectivity, but around 41% of the world population does not have connectivity. Now, if you look at the people who are engaged in connectivity, you find that the people in Western Europe and Far East Asia, they have connectivity compared to the other places. So again, a challenge. The effects of connectivity that we talked about this morning, where it impacts education, economy, culture, family cohesion, civility, politics, physical health, morality, and children. Now, this was actually a survey that was done across different countries. And what we have to understand that from their perspective, how connectivity is going to help them. So as much as connectivity is good, we all agree connectivity is good. But there are aspects of connectivity if not properly regulated, is going to have a negative impact on the society. And I'm not going to go into more details, but the very important thing is the mental wellness. If you look at the children right now, the generation right now, because they are so much connected on social media, it's having a negative impact on their life. So we need connectivity, not to say connectivity is bad, but we need connectivity, but at the same time, we need proper use of connectivity. Otherwise, it's going to have an impact on people's lives. The next slide that I'm going to go and talk about is the challenge. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this slide because we all know what the challenges are. But this is a precursor for my slide about what we have done and how we have overcome these challenges with the CR Bolo project. Okay, go ahead, project.
Don't worry, Shaq. The General gives you a break to keep you covered, whether it's on your car insurance or a break.
Over 2.7 billion people in the world, mostly in the developing countries, still don't have internet access. This means that over half of the world's population is missing out on the life-changing benefits of connectivity, from financial services to health and education. India is a diverse country, having different cultures, geographies, languages. In the rural expanses, where over 70% population resides, a lack of reliable internet connection stands as a barrier to progress. In the vast tapestry of India, where digital landscapes are woven unevenly, emerges a story of innovation, connectivity, and empowerment. Despite being home to the highest number of Facebook users globally, the digital divide in India is stark. In rural India, where 70% of the population resides, the reach of the internet is alarmingly low. The pandemic has widened this gap, deepening societal and economic inequalities.
During pandemic, my co-founder Ritu Srivastava did a research study on the role played by CR stations, and that's how the concept of CR Bolo emerged. CR Bolo is a very unique concept in the sense it is a network owned, managed and operated by the community. We ran the pilot project at Radio Bulbul with the support from the Internet Society and IEEE.
Community radios in India have been providing the last mile access to information services in rural regions. Despite having a stronghold with community members, these stations face the following challenges. 1. Unreliable internet connectivity. 2. Lack of economic sustainability. In response to these challenges, Jadeite Solutions Private Limited, a social enterprise, is working in areas of community radio stations, initiated CR Bolo project, the first community network at Radio Bulbul aiming to provide an alternative last-mile connectivity solution, leveraging existing infrastructure available at the radio station.
We are running community radio station in Bhadrak in Odisha, and actually the community radio across India is 400 plus. So what we thought that the radio is the medium where we can reach the larger part of our country to give the information about all, means holistic, either it may be education, it may be the schemes, agriculture. So during the COVID time, me and one of the organization which is running also radio in Konark, Young India, we have decided if it can be possible without internet, how we can get the content from the community during the COVID, because during the COVID, we are just lacking the problem. We can't upload the content, we can't come to the studio physically.
Radio Bulbul 91.2.
CR Bolo, an initiative that transcends the boundaries of traditional communication, transforming rural landscapes into hubs of digital inclusivity.
दिल से दिल तक रे मुसना आपण मानको स्वागत जणाउछि.
Utilizing the height of the CR tower, a wireless mesh network was established within a 5 to 7 kilometer radius of Radio Bulbul, located at Bhadrak town of Odisha.
सिंपल लोकल एरिया नेटवर्क का यूज़ किया हुआ है, जिसपे हम लोगों ने रेडियो बुलबुल को कनेक्ट किया है एक दिशा स्कूल से और एक सोसाइटी फॉर वीकर कम्युनिटी से. रेडियो बुलबुल के टावर में एक लॉन्ग रेंज आउटडोर राउटर लगाया है, जो क्या करता है कि रेडियो बुलबुल से सिग्नल को फेंकता है और हमारे एंड पॉइंट पे, यानी कि जैसे अभी हम लोग सोसाइटी फॉर वीकर कम्युनिटी में हैं, जो कि उस सिग्नल को रिसीव करता है.
The project strategically utilizes the technical infrastructure, human resources available in Radio Bulbul, unlicensed spectrum and low-cost media to share content locally, creating hypermedia archive architecture.
शेयर बोलो में हम बिना नेट से कंटेंट ले भी सकते हैं और शेयर भी कर सकते हैं.
हमारे जब फोटो भेजते थे ये नेट खर्चा होता था, अब भी बिना नेट से फोटो वीडियो भेज सकती ना रेडियो बुलबुल को.
शेयर बोलो रहिला जो माने विदाउट इंटरनेट से माने कंटेंट केमतिया शेयर करि परिबा. और तृतीय रहिला कि रेडियो रे ब्रॉडकास्ट होबा, जेतले रेडियो रे ब्रॉडकास्ट हो जो माने सुनुचन श्रोता माने जो माने हमको जो कंटेंट दोजन जेतले तांको रेडियो रे बाजू जेतले सुनुचंती से निजो बहुत खुशी फील करछंती.
In the second phase, an IVR system was established, allowing Radio Bulbul to reach a wider audience and receive valuable feedback from the community. The initiative covered a radius of 3 to 4 kilometers, connecting 500 households.
आईवीआर एक एमिते एक प्रोग्राम आछि जोटा कि बहुत बेनिफिट्स मिलछि हम रेडियो स्टेशन को तथा लोक मानको आंचलिक लोक मानको, जेमिति कि आईवीआर माध्यम रे बिना पैसा रे फ्री रे इंटरनेट रे आपण हमको कॉल करि पारछंती. कॉल करिया माध्यम रे हमको किछि कंटेंट शेयर होछि. कंटेंट शेयर हैला बेले आमे ताकू चेक करूछु, ता वैल्यूएबल आमे जानि पाइला परे आमे ताकू ब्रॉडकास्ट करछु और आमे एथरे जानि पारछु कि लोक मानको को जिंस बेसी पसंद होछि एवं कोउथिरे आमे ब्रॉडकास्ट करले हमको अधिक लोक सुनिबे.
मैं दिशा इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल में पढ़ती हूँ. मुझे जब कुछ डाउट होता है आईवीआर नंबर में कॉल करके मेरा डाउट क्लियर करती हूँ.
Supported by the Internet Society and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE CR Bolo not only connects communities but also creates opportunity by providing affordable, ubiquitous and democratically controlled internet access. Enter the interactive voice response system, a technological marvel that transformed the unconnected into active participants with just a phone call.
जब मैंने सोशल मीडिया पेज पे रेडियो बुलबुल के बारे में मेरे को पता चला, मैं भुवनेश्वर में रह के मुझे रेडियो बुलबुल सुनने का मौका नहीं मिल पा रहा था. तो अब ये आईवीआर के जरिए मैं उनके कंटेंट को एक्सेस कर सकती हूँ, मैं उनके कंटेंट को सुन सकती हूँ. अब ये आईवीआर इनिशिएटिव के जरिए पूरा दुनिया में जितने लोग हैं वो सारे रेडियो से जुड़ सकते हैं.
Community Radio Bolo became more than just a station. It became a lifeline. CR Bolo, bridging the digital divide. A hope that brings digital inclusivity and community empowerment.
So you're already using ChatGPT, and while that's awesome, there is one little problem.
By the way, I am from Odisha, Bhubaneswar, and so this is the state.
It's a local language in Ashutosh.
I could understand the local language they speak.
Yeah. So in Odisha, the place Ashutosh is from, actually we did this CR Bolo project. We ran 2 phases of it. We connected around 400 local people with connectivity. Now in our 3rd phase of our project, what we are actually doing is we are using the local language models. We call it the LLMs, not the LLMs, but the LLMs, the local language machine models. And using AI, what we are going to do is we are going to provide connectivity now to much larger population, and for services like finance, like micro banking services, weather prediction, agriculture benefits, and all those things are going to be provided to the people that do not have connectivity, which is now going to really give them benefits, where they can really see how getting connectivity helps them in their daily lives. Now, this the CR Bolo project, I'll just go top level of the story. It's basically enabled by low-cost wireless devices. We use solar-enabled routers, so that overcomes the challenge of the unlicensed spectrum. So that overcomes the challenge of expensive solution. We use open source IVR technology. I think that helps in overcoming the challenge of cost solutions. And again, the devices that we use are very low-cost devices. The objectives with which this whole project was started was how can we use the existing rural infrastructure, and that is where we find the CR. The CR are the community radios. In India, we have a lot of community radios networks that are not being used to provide connectivity. So here we are using the existing rural infrastructure to provide connectivity. And at the same time, what we find is that in villages, once you set up a network, the challenge now is how do you sustain those networks. Unless eventually develop partnership with the local people, make them network efficient, make them sure that they can run their network, the success of that network was not going to be there. As part of this project, what we actually do is we train the local people. So most of the network that you saw here was run by women and the young people. That's the reason in the whole promo you saw a lot of women over there, because the entire network maintenance is being done by the women in the local area. We train them and we make sure that they are able to sustain the network by themselves. And this is the sustainability approach I talked about. That we want the rural technology and infrastructure which is going to be low cost. I talked about the LLMs. Again, now you're going to use the open source platform and localized LLM models. And as part of this whole program, we are also going to be doing training and skilling of the local communities. Where we create different skilling programs where they can manage their network themselves. They do not need our help in terms of running their network. And even they are so they are trained to an extent that even if there are issues with the routers, and there are issues with they are able to debug those things and make it run. And that's a sustainability approach that we have taken in terms of making sure the network runs. Information dissemination. What we also want to do is we want to create localized platforms for providing rural training and entrepreneurship. Because having this kind of program actually also helps them create new kind of business models where they can start earning money from these whole models. Because in India, US, where we assume that getting 24/7 wireless connectivity is given, in India, things they not necessarily go that way. People actually sometimes have to pay in the amount of data you consume. It's on bytes per second or bytes or megabytes that you consume is how we are charged. So with this kind of model, what when we create, when you start giving connectivity to the so you can create a business model by which you can start making money out of this kind of models, which is also which is going to help in self-sustaining the networks also. And also we work with the local self-help groups to create a sustainable ecosystem, and we also provide rural financial services to local banks and other people to make sure the network runs. Now, the value proposition that you want to create here, you want to create an affordable hybrid connectivity solution. You want to leverage the local human resources and scaling to make sure that the network runs. Our key partners here are the self-help groups, banking services, local enterprises, and institutions. And the relationships that we develop with this particular key partners are integration of our digital literacy programs. We want to create financial inclusion system. We also want to establish hybrid connectivity as per the requirements of the community. This was my presentation, and again, the last one is we want to raise the world standards through collaboration locally and globally, and that's what we are trying to do in our CR project. And if you have any questions, you can ask me now or during the happy hour.
You get the banks and the do you get the banks and the financial partners to help you with the training and the orientation?
Do you get the money from the bank too?
No, we do like micro banking with to run this kind of programs also.
Yeah, so they help.
They do help.
Okay.
So I think my comment is a perfect example of something from the CTU Challenge, which are the prototype, and the Standards Association took it. They try to make a standard out of it and also try to deploy the real thing. I think that's a good progress for people concept to get the comment, and there may be more of these award winners. I know we have 2 more award winners. They'll be talking what they're doing, but this is the kind of things we like to see happening. Really, thank you. So with that, let's don't go.
Take a picture.
Greg, you should join us. And Rob, can you please join us?
Yeah, Rob should join us.
You're the SF.
Rob, you should join us.
Great. Greg, you can join. All right.